Today, I'm going to take on a little different subject, a little different way. We're going to go ahead and do, by request, a very simplified studio setup. I guess a lot of my subscribers are requesting, well, I only have a kit camera and a kit lens and one light. What do I do? So the purpose of today is to strip it all back to not beginner level, but new to the studio level. And with a Canon Rebel, which is a kit camera and a kit lens, which I've demoed on my channel before, but this is the first time actually in the studio. So let's take a look at the things we need to work with today before our model gets here. I'm going to employ just two of my V1 Godox units. One will be placed in a softbox, and the other we will put a grid spot on, and that will be for the background. So that's always my preference. You can light your background any way you want, but I have to have illuminated background. We're going to use these S2 adapters to mount the Godox onto a light stand, because you want to have a good stand, some security for your equipment. So we'll go ahead and just get that kind of ready, and then we'll take them to the camera room. But if you're not using this kind, it's a Bowens mount specifically made for the V1, which is the round head. So we're going to go ahead and place that in there. And that's pretty much all we'll need to get those ready, both of them. And now they can go on a light stand pretty easily. There we go. All right. Now the camera that we're going to use is a Canon Rebel. I think it's a T5i. Okay, it's an older model. Clean, hardly ever gets used. I charge the battery for it right here. So you always want to start your session with power. So we're going to go ahead and get that battery in. All right, and then we'll make sure we have a clean card as well. Let's see if this is it. Boom. Okay, so that's ready. Our card here is a SD or a micro SD, whatever that is. Ready to go. I will format it before I run. As far as exposure in the camera room with the two Godoxes, one being a main, I'll probably want to shoot around 1/25th of a second at 5.6. That's my target. That'll probably require about half power on a Godox in a softbox at pretty close range. So the last thing we'll do before we take it into the camera room is remind you that, for me, this little accessory kit is fab. Get it open here. It's in other videos, and there's a lot of good toys in here, but the one I can't live without is the grid spot. Grid spot on the front. And we also have barn doors available for this too in here, which I can get out. And we'll set those up. It's all magnetic. So let's see if we're going to put it on this one. Boom, grid spot. And then our little barn doors to keep light where we want it only. So here it is. Magnetic and ready to go. So let's head to the camera room and we'll get set up for the model. I've got my two lights. This is all we're going to be using today. Just these two V1s. This one's ready for background. This one's ready for softbox. So let's put them on the stands. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to put that on the background, power it up. Okay. It's on a slave. It's going to be triggered from the camera on a Godox receiver. It's an X Pro receiver. And when I turn it on, the modeling lamp will come on and everything else, and it will control the power output as well. And this is probably about where it's physically wanted to be to give me the nice glow spot that I'm looking for. The other one, we're going to go ahead and put it in a softbox and then put it on the stand. Now it looks good, ready to go. Everybody's tight. You can use any stand you like. I happen to like to have one rolling stand is desirable for your main light. So there we go. All right, we're on a stand. We're on a rolling stand. It's probably going to go right about here based on our our subject's seat, get it a little higher, and now I'll get the remote in hand and we'll go ahead and test. We've employed our remote here. There we go. And we're using channel A for the main light and C for the background light. We're not using our normal fill light today, just these two. And I've got it on this little Canon Rebel with this kit lens, 18 to 55, I think is what it is. Of course, we're gonna set it, because we're using strobes, we're gonna set it for flash or 5500K as far as color temperature goes. When you're using strobe in the studio, we wanna use the lowest ISO we can. So we're down to 100. That's gonna give us the highest quality. All right, so we're shooting at f5.6, 1/25th of a second, ISO 100, and with 2 speed lights. So the next thing we'll be doing, a quick test of the illumination, then we put our model in to make sure we can tweak it out. All right, test shot. All right, much nicer. See, we have detail in there. I think that's gonna be pretty close to what I want. It might still be a little hot, but we'll find out. Okay, now today we have Laura back with us again, which she's very gracious to come keep being a model for us. But we are ready to go, and we're gonna just test our lighting with the model in place. As always, when you have just one main light, don't aim it at the subject. Go past the subject on the front so that you can bring a reflector of some kind into the shot to return some light. So we've got that. We're gonna do another test right now. This doesn't count yet. And we are using just a basic kit camera here. And it's good, but it's a little hot for me, just a touch. So I'm gonna trim the power just a little bit. Let's try this one. Yes, that looks pretty nice. That is real good for lighting. I think if we stand back here and look from the wide shot, the light is a little bit low. It's a little low because one of the ways I determine that is I look at the flash tube itself, just imagine or draw a straight line through it. Where's the light going? It's going down towards her elbows. Okay, so it's kind of feathering to the low side. So I'm gonna go ahead and lift that up a little higher to hit her a little more appropriately in the face. And she has dark hair, so this will help light that hair. So now if we look at that line through the flash head, from here, it's coming right to the shoulder, which is kind of what we want. It'll just be a more attractive light. You know, both are good pictures, but they're not great unless you have everything right. Okay, that looks really pretty. Now that test image was excellent. We now have the light coming at the right direction and feathering past her front, hitting a reflector panel, which again, I use a light form panel with white fabric. You could use white V-flats or foam core or whatever, but don't use silver. Silver is the wrong thing. It's too specular, too harsh. And I know people that have tried using it, but more powerful is not necessarily better. And I'll do one full body shot with this little zoom on here. Looks very nice. And actually, I think the light could be softer still. And I think the reason is we have moved her head closer to the light. So it's about a 3-to-1 ratio. So I'm gonna soften it further, just pull it away because it's got plenty of power, and bring my reflector in a little closer. These are the necessary tests that you have to do when you're doing these test shots and you're trying to learn how to do studio portraiture. You have to test and analyze and critique. So just another quickie test to see what we're getting. Yeah, much nicer light. So a couple things we could do. Again, keep her nose that way a little bit towards the light. One more test. Yeah, that's a very pretty value. I think I might like the background to be just a little brighter overall. I can increase the power, but what I'm actually gonna prefer, I think, is to pull it away from the background to make it a little bit larger spot. Maybe a foot or so. It'll make my image circle bigger. I'm still aiming it kind of in the middle. Might go a little higher. Okay, let's see how that comes out. By moving it back without changing the power, it's going to be a little less intense. So let's do that. But it's more even too, so it's really kind of what we want. Very, very nice. As I usually do to make it easier for the model to be comfortable and give me a pose, I'll put a chair in front of her to lean. I'll get more body English that way if I do that. Okay, so we've given the model a simple chair, which won't show up in the image, and it's going to make it easier for her to pull poses. Now keep in mind again, Laura's not really a model. One of the things that I really have a hard time with is actually shooting models because they want to pose for you. And I don't want people to pose for me. I want to get natural images. So here we go. Let's test this out. Now we may have moved further away. We may be closer. But in general, I think we're very, very, very close. I see on my frame, I'm a little bit, I'm zoomed in all the way with this kit lens. So I would normally go a little closer, but this is as far as I could go on the bottom. I could see the bottom of the background, so I'm going to have to run that out a little bit. Let me do that. So we've added a little bit of background space, so my camera angle onto her isn't showing the floor. Now, if you're fortunate enough to already have a second reflector, I recommend it. And you know that I love this small round one, which is a 32-inch round. Not expensive. I mean, you're talking 40 bucks or whatever, and then you can spend more on stands. But this is a great tool to have right here to help fill some shadows. And I'm gonna go ahead and make another test. Let's go ahead, full zoom in. Autofocus, beautifully happy with that one right there, very nice. And I'm gonna say before we finish this side, Laura, would you throw all your hair onto that side and in the front on that side? That's a common design thing you can do is you wanna see the neck if you possibly can, and then you use the hair to frame the shadow. So you don't go out of the head. And this way, your head still tips this way a little bit. Good. And you can kind of mix your hands together a little bit, you know, just hold a finger or whatever, because that is in the image. The hands are in the image. So we want to kind of get them involved. That is a beautiful portrait right there. Great mood, great lines, no awkwardness in the shoulder or hands. Love the background being slightly hotter on the right. That's a win-win. We'll do a final couple of frames, and then we will flip the light around. Yeah, I like to end on something drop dead gorgeous. Let's do the rearranging of the lights, which is so simple today. We only have the one main light to move and the reflector. That's it. All right, we have moved the main light to the other side. It's not perfectly positioned yet, and we've put the other reflectors kind of in place, but until we get up close and critical, we don't know if we are spot on until we do a test. But I can tell you right now, this light needs to come forward of her. She's in a great body angle for us, and we want that light to pass by her front. We know the height is right. There's no problem with that. And she looks great. Pop your necklace out to the outside. All right, here we go. Let's do a shot. Testing, yeah, you're good. Boom, like that way. Nose is a little more this way this time. Okay, quick check. All right. It's a little bit hot. It was a guess. You know, I don't use light meters anymore. They don't work for me. I used them, you know, for a few years. But then we had Polaroids, which essentially this is. And I could tell by looking at this what is the right values to use. So with digital, my feeling is learn your ratios and then measure by eye. It's a good way to go. I'm gonna soften this on her just a little bit, pull back, do another view. That's great, Laura. Let's see, hang on. Let's see here. Yeah, really gorgeous, gorgeous image. But now for this one, the hair goes back on the other side. Frontal on that side. That's the shadow side. Okay. Beautiful. That's nice right there. Love it. Lovely. Now, what I would say about this test image here is it's very beautiful. I generally like my hot spot on the background to be over towards the shadow side of the model. So I'm going to move my camera angle a little bit to the side, and I'm going to move my spotlight to the left. It's just going to go this way. All right. Move my camera just a little bit. And beautiful right there. Miss Laura right here. Yeah, that looks quite nice. More balanced background for me. I like it. I think I can move my underneath reflector in a little closer, probably both of them a little closer. But these are the things you need to determine as you may look at this image and say, oh my gosh, it couldn't get any better. But you need to think about how it could get better. I think her hair's a little dark on that side. And generally the lighting is quite nice. Hands are well modeled. I think this other hand needs to be shown a little more. So I'm critiquing my own work as I go. So we're just going to move this a little bit closer to you, right there. Gives you more brightness in the face. This will give you more brightness in the hair. Love it. Very nice. Nose will go that way though. That's your main light over there. Yep. I don't expect you to always know where I'm going. That is beautiful. Now let's hide the hands kind of, inside. Can you just kind of cross this way and hide hands? Yep. That's beautiful. And then it's just about your face. Love it right there. Good. All right. It's really cool. Tiny bit, what I would call at the high end of portraiture, a little bit specular in the quality of light because it's a small light that's 40 inches away from her. So we'll do one more experiment on this outfit. And what I'm going to do is cut the power on this light so I can move it even closer. The closer I get it to her, the softer it will appear to be. So we're going to cut the power on A a little bit and move it closer. And then we're going to check that out. Beautiful. Comparatively speaking, it's a softer light because we took it about a third of the way closer and it's prettier, more like I would generally like. So I'm going to take a few shots of that for her. Some are full length vertical, some are not full length, 3/4 length. Horizontal and vertical. Now I'll just do, since it's so lovely, I'll do a face shot or head and shoulders kind of. You stay right there. And we will grab that. Beautiful. Nice, nice. Very pretty indeed. That totally works. Now when we move in closer like that, we could even pop our reflector even higher up because we're only doing a face. Go even closer here because that's all we want is to overlight that face a little bit. And this is more of your headshot look. Beautiful. Let's get the nose this way and up, just the chin up just a little bit, and eyes right to me, lovely. And you can do a happy one if you want. Good. Very nice. Love it. Of course, this lens is not as long as I would love for a portrait, but you can do this with your kit camera. That's what we're talking about today, being able to make portraits just like this. So what we'll do is a high-key portrait for Laura. Use our same lighting, just a little bit differently. Stay tuned. We have Laura now in a light top, which then calls for high-key photography, high-key portrait. We can take this background that's behind us, which is a medium gray painted canvas, and we can make it a modern, a contemporary, almost white image. White if you want to. You can really blow it out with a lot of light. But I'm going to probably double the amount of light we put on it to get it up into a higher register, a higher key, and it will go better with her outfit. So I'm going to do that simply by changing the amount of power on the background right now. More power, Scotty, right there. And yep, now it's almost white. And I'm not on center point right now, but I will be. So stay right there, Laura. You're great. And it's almost white, but to even it up, I'm going to pull it back just a little bit so I can cover more space, top to bottom, left to right. And just do a quickie test on that. Yeah, now we have pretty much a white background. It will be by the time I now improve the lighting on her, which will be to increase that. So we'll do that and make sure we're hitting her as well. Okay. We're going back from, we ended before on a headshot. Now we're going back to 3/4, so we have to pull back a little bit. Miss her. And then the power, let's check the power. We want to go raise it up a little bit. Let's do a quickie check. Okay, that's pretty good. We are almost in the high key that we're looking for right there. But nevertheless, the subject, since the lighting is on one side and not the other, we'll want her to always lean into or face the source light, which will be this way. Perfect. Let's get that shot. That's very cool indeed. We'll do a few more clicks of that, but I'm really, really happy with it. We basically got 90% white background. It's pretty darn awesome. Very, very nice. We are at 100th of a second at 5.6, ISO 100, flash balanced, which is daylight, pretty much same. And we're still just using one light on her, one background light. Can't get much simpler. Landing close, beautiful. Very cute indeed. Now, if I go in closer on her, compositionally, I can go back and move that main light a little more frontal, a little bit more about her face. And you know, I usually use an assistant all the time. Today, you notice I'm not using, not only not having an assistant, but doing everything here myself, showing it is pretty easy to do. If you have good stands and you know what you want, I believe this will give us a great look. Beautiful, right there, I love it. Okay. Rocks. Let's bring that other hand up behind the other one. Yes. Right there, super. Nose slightly to the lighting. All right. All right, and let's soften this front line and, you know, not cover the chin too much. There's the look I want, right there. Beautiful, very, very beautiful. If we want to make it more dramatic, we just move it to the side. So if you stay right there, Laura, we're going to shorten the light. Now, shortening the light is moving it more to the small side of the face, which is small to us because her nose is that way. We have a broad side and a short side. So we're just going to move it a little more sideways, and we'll get a different effect. Right there, beautiful. Okay, so now we've got a stronger shadow on the left side, which is kind of what I like the most. And I'm going to go a little more frontal with our main light. So we'll do this, very easy little change, down and right, and a little more frontal. You know, I have a technique that if you guys are kind of new at this, that would be a good formula for you to do. It's really how I learned a long, long time ago, is so that you don't have to be changing your f-stop all the time or your power. Once you determine how far that light should be from the subject, and we measure from the center of the box to her nose, that is the distance, okay? That's the distance. Right here, we're probably only we're less than 40 inches right there. You could literally get a piece of fishing line or string, and you could pin it there, and you can have a little washer on the end to keep it nice and straight, and you can just pick up the wire and touch her nose, and you've got perfect exposure. So you pre-measure your 40 inches or whatever you like, and it should be lovely and consistent. So I'm gonna tent her in a little bit more for this front shot, nose just a little bit that way. There we go. That's much more pleasing. Her dark hair is lit better. Nice shadow under the jaw. And the background is evenly gradiated. It has a graduation that's nice. Let's move only your shoulders to the light. Like, yeah, this way more. Just no, fall this way with your bod. See, that's gonna shadow your body more, but your face is still that way and your eyes are to me. That's great. Yeah, that keeps all that in nice control. Getting hands close to the face. Yeah, there you go. Just a little bit. Something to show you got lots of hair without having it to go to your waist. And your nose goes that way. Beautiful. Serious one for a couple. Beautiful. Chin lower. Nice. Very, very pretty. Tell you what we'll do. See if you can't push this hair over your entire shoulder. And no, actually, yeah, bring it so it kind of covers some. Even if you have to lean to make it work for you. That's it. Beautiful. Good. Very, very nice. Nose goes that way a little more. And let's just change that hand occasionally just to get it refreshed. You know what the hand should do? The hair's good. Hand could just come touch your jewelry. And come at it from the side like this. It makes it real skinny. Yeah, skinny fingers. Yeah, beautiful. Love that look right there. That's a winner. Stay there. Looking down like at that. Beautiful. Stay there. I'm going to shorten the light just to get a little different mood. There we go. And then lift the eyes to me. Beautiful. Good. Those are nice. Superior. For our last shot for Laura, we're going to do a 3/4 length shot. We've been doing almost 3/4 in the seated poses. Those are very easy, and I'd like you to kind of concentrate on those as you're using one light studio and a reflector. But you can also do a 3/4 length really successful, which is not only great for a teen or a single, it's great for couples too, or 2 or 3, small family. You'll have some people standing for sure. So you want to know that this light will cover, and it will. We've got her there. She's got a great pose. Might sneak the hand back a little closer just so I can fit it in. Then I'm going to raise this light up, favoring her face and top and feathering off. I'll put this in just as much so it doesn't show if I want to keep both her hands in. So I think it'll be good background-wise too. So let's take that shot. All right, lighting's really pretty. This hand is fantastic. Your body's fantastic. This is just too far away from me, so just bring it all in, even the chair. Just good. And then skinny hand on it. Yep, that's good. All right, let me just do a test shot. Your nose will still go a little this way. Let's see if we're there. It's beautiful. So, all right, one more serious one. I want the same shot. Relax your feet so we can move you more. I want you to turn your body away from the light a little bit more. Do the same thing, same kind of pose. Spread the, weight's on one leg though. Yes, good. And then your body stays here, but your nose goes back that way to the light. Chin down, good. Right there. This is gonna darken the body a little bit, which is nice. All right. Fantastic. Try this hand in the back, the other one, sorry, in the back pocket or something. The front one I do want to see, that's great. Stay nice away from the light, but also pumped up straight. Nose just a little more this way. It's kind of a little over the shoulder-ish. When you're ready, we'll be there, good. Nice. It looks fantastic. Looks nice. Excellent, stay there. And let's turn that face to look at the bottom of the softbox, but eyes to me then. Nice. All right, let's try the last shot. Let's bring the hands up into the middle somewhere. That's good. Yeah, you can do that. That's fine. Your jewelry's good. Now just twist out of the light a tiny bit to give us shade. I think the hands are good out for you on this because it's just high key, beige. Okay, now tuck it in. Let me see if I like that better. Beautiful, good. Yeah, that's nice. All right, let's try something a little more elegant. Right here. Superior. Now, the hand that's up here, you want to close more of it, and just so you have more of a long index finger. So you want it to be pointing out that way. So shake it out. Just lay it and like pointing, like a little flatter. That's good. Okay, then eyes to me. We'll find the happy medium on that. Beautiful. I'll tell you what we do. Take both hands up there like you're straightening it out. Right there. Perfect. Pretty hands. Love it. Now look at the bottom of the softbox. over there, beautiful, good. And then eyes on me. The front hand is skinnier, the other way, yep. More, yep. Perfect, good, beautiful. Eyes to me, smile, because you can say goodbye now. Cross your arms, be done. Thank you, good. We got it. We got lots of good stuff. I hope you enjoyed that lesson today. We used a little kit camera with a kit lens and one strobe for main, one strobe for background, because I like it. You might have window lights or something that light your background up, and this could still be the main. But for me, in a studio situation, we could do it with two and a reflector. And a second reflector, if you're lucky enough to have one. It could also be foam core as well. So nobody should really be without some kind of method. So the Godox transmitter worked really well, and the Godox softbox worked really well. So we want to thank you for being here with us today. We appreciate your comments and your subscription. And look for more from Tim Kelly's Master Photo Techniques. See you next time.